Hello learners, this is Amirtha again. So in today's session, we shall improve our understanding about persuasion and its strategies. So as students of social work, it is important that we adopt this skill, persuasion, as it will surely help us when we are there in the community helping the people in the decision making process. So rather just simply convincing the community people to decide upon something, it is important that we change our approach of persuading them. So yes, there is a difference between convincing and persuading. So let's quickly go to the presentation. So the scheme for today's presentation will be as this. So initially we'll try to understand what is persuasion. Then we'll try to find out the difference between convincing and persuading. The types of persuasive presentations will be dealt. The components of persuasive presentations will be highlighted. And finally, we shall look into the various persuasive strategies that are available. So, before moving into persuasion, let's understand what is persuade. So, persuade is something you urge someone to do something by giving them a good reason to do so. So, here you actually urge an individual. So, it could be an individual or it could be a group of people or a community. So you actually urge that particular person or a group or a community to decide upon something by giving them a logical reasoning of why they have to do so. Okay, so you are supplementing your know your discussion by an scientific reason of why they have to choose this. So this particular act is called persuade. So persuasion is something that you are motivating an audience through communication so that they voluntarily change a particular belief, attitude or behavior. So at various times in the community, we are involved in this no addressing the behavioral no behavior and the attitudinal change. So we actually face this problem of persuading people of to decide upon a particular no option. So this persuasion will surely help you to devise strategies in order to help them to persuade, in order to help them to take a particular decision. Okay, so this is the difference between convincing and persuading. So even though these both terms look alike, there is a pretty good difference between convincing and persuading. So convincing is something that you help someone to firmly believe in the truth of something. Okay, whereas persuading, you help someone to do something by argument, through argument or through reason. So in persuading, you just do not pressurize on the individuals or a group or a community to choose this particular option, whereas you give them all the necessary inputs and you help them with the advantages. You help them to know the various advantages of choosing that particular option. So that particular process is being identified as persuading. Okay, so these are the various persuasive presentations which you could you could have come across. And yeah, the first one is sales presentation, the next is proposals, motivational speeches and goodwill speeches. So sales presentation, so we have experienced, I hope everyone would have experienced meeting a salesperson either at home or in some shops or wherever we go. We have certain people approaching us to buy their products. So the particular strategy which they adopt is being known as persuasion. Okay, so what they actually do is that they just give us an highlight about their products, of what kind of advantages their product has, and why as a customer we need to choose that product. So that is where, as a customer or as a consumer, we go for that. Okay, based on the advantages. So this is how a persuasive presentation looks like. So okay, and regarding proposals, so we social workers have a good career in writing proposals to get grants from various national and international organizations. So here, in the proposals, we actually state our reasons of why we need the money, and for what purpose that particular fund is going to be utilized for, and how that particular fund is going to bring in a positive change in the community. So actually these kind of arguments, or these kind of persuading statements, is going to help the funder to sanction a proposal. So this is how proposals are being used as one form of persuasive presentations. Fine. So the next is about motivational speeches. So motivational speeches yield us good results when delivered effectively and at the proper time. So here we are carried away by this motivational speeches when we feel down. So surely motivational speeches play its vital role when we feel inferior, or when we are having this mood swings and all. And also goodwill speeches. So goodwill speeches are considered to be very informative, and it actually tries to change the attitudes and behaviors of their listeners. So these are the various components of persuasive presentation, which which has six important layers. So initially we are starting with the opening up layer, wherein as a social worker we start up with the communication of why we are initiating this discussion, and we introduce a particular topic or a particular agenda to the community. So that is how this opening phase starts, and next we'll start up in setting up a context. Okay, we then give us the objectives of this particular discussion, and what we actually going to do in this particular discussion. So this is how you set up context, and then you come out giving them the highlights of the problem in which you have been brought in for discussion. Okay, so you state the problem very clearly, and you break up into different points so that it is very easy to understand, and that is how you go to the next phase. And in the fourth phase you identify the causes of that particular problem. So it happens with the community. Okay, so the community people are kept. So I'm just giving an example of how a social worker could use this persuasion persuasive presentations like in the community, when you work in the community. Okay, and these phases are being utilized by us unconsciously, but when you look into the theoretical part, this is how we work upon. Okay, so while identifying the causes, so causes are not being identified by us, okay, being an outsider, but in turn we initiate the discussion with the community people, and then they come out with the various causative factors for that particular problem. Okay, and in the fifth layer, solutions are being suggested. So there are various solutions which could be taken up in solving a particular problem, and while giving various solutions, also the advantages for each of the solutions has to be mentioned. So this is how you initiate the session. You set up a context, you come out with the problem, you find out the various causes of the problem, you suggest solutions by giving its advantages and disadvantages, and you finally close the discussion. So these are the various components of a persuasive presentation. So these components could be applied in any setting. It could be in a community setting, it could be applied in an industrial setting or in a hospital setting, wherein you are trying to help a particular person or a group or a community in choosing in choosing a right decision. Okay, so which is more beneficial. So the right decision that I mean is that the decision which is more beneficial to that particular individual. So that is how I'm defining right decision. Okay, so these are some of the persuasive strategies which you could adopt. So first, it is about applying to the needs of your audience. So whenever we initiate a discussion, we need to bear in mind the wellness or the well-being of the audience. So we need to actually focus on the requirement of the audience. So whenever a persuasive presentation or a persuasive decision making is being done, we need to focus on the needs of the audience. Then have a realistic goal in achieving that particular decision making, or in achieving the particular decision which you are trying to focus upon. Okay, and then you focus on the critical audience segment. So actually our audience or the community people, sometimes they resist upon whatever discussion is being made, even though we highlight upon the advantages. Some people know they are non-reactive, and some are very critical. So the kind of critics which they keep upon us shouldn't be ignored. Okay, so we should take necessary steps to help them to understand the situation, and actually help them to choose the right decision. Okay, so the next is you could give them ample evidence in order to support your argument, okay, or to support your discussion. So whenever real time examples is being given or presented or exhibited or demonstrated, surely it will help the audience to firmly believe in, or to strongly decide upon the particular option in which you are suggesting. So the next is about, you also consider citing opposing ideas. So this is actually helping the audience to understand that you accept them as they are. Okay, so it needn't be every time that the audience or the community have to get along with you. Okay, so it is important that you also give them certain time to accept your ideas too. Okay, so next is about, you adapt to the cultural style of your audience. So every community possesses certain styles and certain traditions and certain values. So our persuasion should also be in aligned with the culture of that particular audience. So this is how some of the persuasive strategies is being working in the community. You could also give a try by applying any of these strategies. And finally, thanks for listening. So see you in the next session. Have a nice day.